All right, welcome back to the rslregister.com YouTube channel. Today, I have a few things I wanted to go over. Number one, the game that just happened on Saturday between RSL and FC Dallas. The game was away at FC Dallas, and Real Salt Lake ended up losing 3-1. It was a pretty rough game. And then I also want to go over the preview for the game against I believe it's Houston for tomorrow, Wednesday. So getting started with the game against FC Dallas, we did concede 3 goals. And the main thing I want to do is the player ratings. But just a quick recap. The first goal was a pass that was played into Sergi Salons. He had a bit of a rough touch, which passed, which played the ball back towards the midfield, which was recovered by FC Dallas. Sergi Salons then tracked back, and instead of he did foul, but he didn't foul and get the ball. He fouled, and then the player kept the ball, and then in transition, they scored. So I will also say the goal was from outside the box, and it was scored on the near post. So technically savable, but I mean, it's not really that savable. It was technically savable, but not super savable. There were probably bodies in the way as well. The second goal was a classic. Real Salt Lake had, 5'9" DeAndre Yedlin and 5'8" or 5'10", 5'11" Sam Junka up to potentially score or assist make their first ever goal contribution on a corner kick instead of playing defense against the best counterattacking team in MLS except for LAFC. And they obviously could not contribute to a goal in a corner, which they have not done all season. And we immediately get pounced on. The only player we had back was Noel Caliscan. It was pretty much a 3v1 the whole time. And then the goalkeeper palmed it back. It was a 1v3. Noel Caliscan actually did a pretty good job of getting the ball far wide. He actually did a really good job. Just the save on the first shot pushed it back to the penalty spot, and no one had recovered enough to beat the second FC Dallas player who scored off the rebound. Then Diego Luna scored in like the 80th minute. It was assisted by Morgan Giavogi. He popped across from the right to the left. Diego dribbled it a little bit to the center of the box and then shot, and it was a really great finish. And then the third goal was honestly a disaster. Another corner goal. I don't know how, but we still haven't decided that we're not going to be able to score from. We still think we can score from a corner, so we put like 11 guys in the box, and no guys able to play defense. A bit of a disaster. We had 3 guys who could have covered the guy that scored or fouled him. No one fouled him or was able to track back. The 3 players with Noah Caliscan, who had been playing for 90 minutes. He did sprint. He just wasn't fast enough. He was too tired. Alexander Skatronis, who was a sub, who sprinted back. Honestly, did an okay job, but he just wasn't fast enough to get all the way back and stop the goal. And then Aiden Hezerkani, who really struggled. And the young kid, there's a horrible clip. He just he's like jogging as a player who came off the bench to stop a breakaway to save the game. So pretty rough performance. Probably I wouldn't say our worst performance of the season, but because we played good soccer. We had the ball. We created some chances, but we just were defensively horrible. So let's get into the player ratings. I think some of them are fair, and then some of them are not super fair. Like Noel Caliscan, I'll say this, was not the worst player on the field. He wasn't. I don't know. Someone must have some Noel Caliscan hate. Sure, he was sort of around a lot of the goals, but I don't think he was the player at fault. But I'll start with Diego Luna. Yeah, we lost 3-1, but the truth is he scored a goal, and in a game against FC Dallas, we're gonna put 6 guys in the box. You're probably not gonna get many chances. So if you get one, you gotta take it, and he did a good job. He wasn't horrible. I think he deserves a 6. Sergi Talon's, I'd say, was bad. But I will also say, how many times was he passed the ball in the box? And as a striker, that's sort of what you need. So, but I think he contributed for sure to the first goal, and also just in general not too great. So I'm gonna go. I think he probably deserves a 4.5, but I'm gonna go 4 because I think his rating's a little high. Morgan Giavogi, he got another assist. He created some chances, didn't score. I think a 6 is fine for him. Sanabria, I think once again the counters. I don't think he was contributing anything the to the attack. I don't think he has anything to contribute to a goal off of a corner kick, and he didn't contribute to the defense on any of the breakaways. So I think that's a 5. But I don't think he was necessarily at fault for any of the goals. I think he just could have done better to track back on the goals. And I think he was fine creating. He wasn't great, but he created some things. No Caliscan. Yeah, it wasn't a 2.6. It wasn't a 2.6. I think he was like a 4.5, 5. Stein Spearings, I think a 6. I think a 6 is not super fair. To be fair, our midfield. You know what? I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna give Noel Caliscan a 4. All 3 goals, the midfield was completely bypassed. He didn't make anything. Any like horrible mistakes, but like the midfield was bypassed on all 3 goals. So that's a 4. And then I think Xavier Gozo also gets a 5. I think he gets a 5 here today. And then I think Sam Junka. Oh, I put him on the right. He was actually playing on the left. Sam Junka, I think he was really, really bad. Really bad. Wasn't able to do anything on any of the goals. But I don't think he was like directly responsible. So I think he gets a 4. Quinton, I think he was just as bad, but he made some really bad mistakes at the beginning of the game when he passed it straight to Pitar Musa. That's a 3. And then Yedlin, I'm also giving a 3. He is up high on the field so often it's ridiculous for a right center back. He's playing the position like it's a right back or a right wing back, and he needs to stay back. He needs to stay at home. 3, and then Rafa, first goal was savable. Third goal, he could have came further out. It was a long breakaway. He could have come out further. What about the second goal? Oh, and then the second goal, he actually passed it further back. This is the worst rating I've ever given Rafa Cabral because I think he's incredible. But a spade's a spade. He could have done better in all 3 goals. But he did make a good save against Pitar Musa. So I think 4 is fair. It wasn't a great game. Katranis was a sub. Let me actually make sure who the subs were. Mark Zook, Hezarkhani, Katranis, Olatunji. Okay. I think Olatunji was fine. I mean, maybe you give him a 5. Wasn't able to do much. I think Mark Zook was lively. I'm going to give him a 6. Yeah, Mark Zook gets a 6 for me. Hezarkhani, I think you give him a 3 or a 4. That's just really rough. Really, really bad. That alone, I think Pablo needs to, take his hand and be like, hey, man, let's really got to do better than that. On that last goal. That's not professional. It's not professional at all. And then Katranis, I'm going to give him a 6. Or no, I'm going to give him a 5. He could have done more on the last goal, but he tried his best. All right, so that's enough for FC Dallas. Let's get to the game against Houston that's coming up. And let's go through and sort of say who I think should be playing where. This is, if you've never seen this before, this is how I do my match predictions. or lineup predictions. This is like pre-populated from our database, the RSO Rooster database, and it's all of our position players, but it's sorted by salary. So that's why Pablo Ruiz is at the top left, because he is our highest paid center midfielder, and also why Mark Zook is above Gozo. It's just because he's higher paid. So for me, once again, Diego Luna left wing. I think that's right. I also want Olatunji to start. I want Morgan Giavogi off the bench. I want Juanma Sanabria to start. I want Noel Caliscan and Stein Spearings to start. Emeka's injured. Jesus Brea is not going to play. If Peel is not going to play. I think Luka Moyes is probably not going to play. He's been playing with the Monarchs. And then I'll do Gozo over Mark Zook. I don't want to see Yedlin again. I want to see Arias. He's started the last 2 games for the Monarchs. We're not going to be able to see... I don't think we're going to get Justin Gladbach, but Philip Quinton I don't think is a big deal. And then I haven't heard about either... I haven't heard about Glad or Lucas Engel, so I'll actually put them both starting. And, they might not be available, but we'll find out. So I think that's actually fine. And then let's do the subs. So we got 9 subs. We don't need 4 center backs. So I'll actually take Sam Junka off. I don't think he wasn't great. Yedlin wasn't great. We don't need 2 goalies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we need to lose 1 more. Honestly, in his County, go back to the Monarchs for now. That was a really bad performance. Really bad effort. So I think this is sort of what we're going to look at. This is at least my prediction. I think realistically, Lucas Engel might not be there. Justin Glad might not be there because of injury, but I haven't heard anything about it. And then it would be Philip Quinton starting and then Sam Junka starting. I think this is about right. And as far as what I think is going to happen in the game, Houston looked really good. They beat LAFC 4-1. But LAFC they didn't have Denny Bouanga. They had just come off a game in altitude on Wednesday night. And really rough game, demoralizing. I'd say, yeah, they probably still deserve to win. And I think we have to worry about their guy, Augusto. Augusto looks really good. He looks really good. Jack McGlynn looks really good. And Noel is... Actually, I don't think you can start Noel again. If he starts again, it's crazy. This guy's played every minute of our season, and somehow he's still playing. So I think the 2 substitutions I'd make, I'd start Olatunji. I think Sergi just hasn't been as hot. I'd start Pablo over Noel. And then I'd start the guys that were hurt last week and Arias at center back. So I'd make 5 changes. Hopefully that's enough rotation. And I think the team is better. I think this team is better than the team that lost against Dallas. So that's at least my prediction. If you haven't seen the website before, this is the most powerful Real Salt Lake website that exists. It's also scalable, so if you want to make your own website for the Monarchs or DC United or Atlanta United or the Royals, just let me know. I can get a website set up for you pretty quickly with this. And check out the website, once again, rsorooster.com. Thanks. Bye.